Unscripted, unshackled, uncouth.
What you're about to hear is for more mature audiences only.
It's Miguel and Holly, Uncensored.
Hello and welcome back to Miguel and Holly Uncensored. Hi. This
New
is
year,
our
new us.
Yes, this is our off-air podcast that we do on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. You can always see us do it live on YouTube or Facebook around 10:30 on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, or we drop it around noon on the iHeartRadio app or anywhere you listen to podcasts. And I think, Holly, we've officially reached, I think, 10 years of doing Miguel and Holly Uncensored, because we started it in 2015.
Yes, we did.
When we started in Tampa the second time around.
Right. So it's been 10 years of documenting our lives. Like, man, I think about sometimes the fact that could Maya ever go back and listen to all this, and would I want her to? The answer is no.
No.
And I almost feel like maybe she won't want to, because she won't want to know either.
Yeah. I mean,
I would want to know.
Right?
Mama likes a good time.
Yeah.
Sometimes she likes to be like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm good. I don't need to know about things.
I think luckily for us, Holly, I don't think that Apple iTunes or iHeartRadio app goes back to 2015.
Praise
I don't
Jesus.
think. I've never scrolled that far to see, but I think they only hold like 300 episodes at a time. And then after that, they just get
flush
dumped.
out.
But I have them on a hard drive, so don't you worry.
Cancel Holly party.
Well, I'm sorry. If we're gonna cancel me, we're gonna cancel you and everybody else. So.
Everybody's getting canceled up in this bitch.
I mean, I'm sorry. Some of this stuff we talked about in 2016, everybody's getting canceled.
Oh, yes. Lord,
Canceled.
help us, please. But we are back after 2 graceful, amazing, scrumptious weeks off.
Yes.
I'm telling you that I fought my husband Abe at first when he was like, all right, I know the original plan was to do a cabin trip in North Georgia, go to Atlanta for Christmas, come back to Charlotte for the weekend, and then go do New Year's in Tampa Bay.
Right.
And he was like, that's too much. We need to cut off the Florida part. And I was like, no, we always host a New Year's party. Like, yes, we don't have a place to host it, but we figured it out last year. We can figure it out this year. And he was like, I just think it's too much. And I was mad for 2 days. I was like, well, you get to go all the time for work and I don't get to go ever. I'm so glad we didn't go. I missed it, but it was so nice to just sit.
Yeah.
There were a couple times we went to go to dinner during the week here in Charlotte. And then a lot of times we just sat at home, and like every day I was like, let's just do one productive thing. So like we cleaned out our closets. We organized one of the like junk, like, holiday costume. It was just so nice. So, and then
I love that.
Put that on top of, we actually did start dry January like a normal human being, not my normal, where I'd be like, well, after the first weekend, we did not drink this weekend. I just feel refreshed. I feel so good. So I'm so happy we did that.
Oh, I'm glad for you. Because sometimes, damn, you need to sit down, Miguel.
I know. Even my hairstylist, Dawn, she was like, when do you sit down? And I'm like, I'd sit down on Sundays normally. And, but that's not enough.
It's not enough.
That brain was still working, though, because I got a few conversations with Miguel about work. But, we'll let it slide, I feel.
But it was like very casual. It was like there wasn't right. There was no like, hey, do this or we need to get this done. It was like, oh, hey, while I'm thinking and sitting around and like there's a phrase for it when you're not actively sitting at a desk and thinking, but you're just sort of like that.
The creative juices are going.
Yeah, well, you're not really like doing anything. That I'd be like, oh, what about this idea? So that happened a few times. I'd be like, Calvin, what about this for social media in the future? Da, da, da. So, Holly, how was your break?
Oh, man, it was delightful. It was. I feel like I did so much, and I feel like it was in different pieces, because there was like the before Christmas part, which was a crazy rush. Now that I even think about it, it was like Maya had a dance recital like the whole weekend before. We did that, and then I don't even know. It was just a hustle. Like the days leading up to Christmas were so busy. And we worked it out this year. Maya's dad and I, you don't need to know all the particulars and who cares, but like we worked it out. It wasn't supposed to be this way. I had Maya Christmas Eve and then he got Maya Christmas Day. And it worked out really good for both of us, especially him he had family in town that chunk of the break. So leading up to Christmas Eve, it was a crazy bustle. Christmas morning, presents, yay, everything is bright and shiny. And then Maya wanted to get over there to her dad's house because she wanted to see her little baby sister opening presents and stuff. So I dropped her off, and we had a good exchange. Like they came out of the house and I was like, thank you very much. It was like a good exchange in the driveway. And so that was fine. I think everything went as good as it possibly could have on Christmas. And then as my fiance and I drove away from their house, I was like, we don't have anything to do.
Oh.
It was like, it was just so like everything stopped because considering how busy leading up to Christmas was, and you got to make that magic and all of this, Christmas Day, drop her off. And I was like, we really, what do you want to do? I don't know. We could do whatever. And so it was just really nice. And so what do we do? The nothing really the rest of the Christmas Day. I don't even remember what movie we watched on Christmas.
Did y'all have some Christmas
candy cane in your stocking?
Yeah,
Oh,
Holly
wow.
plays Mrs. Claus. Your fiance plays Santa Claus.
Sit on his lap and tell him what you wanted for XXX,
Oh my God.
Mr. Claus.
Mama Claus needs her back scratched.
Mama Claus wants some presents.
You want to look
She's
into
been
my box, Santa Claus?
She's been a good girl.
Oh my God.
Name it Holly for a reason.
It's still going.
I'll hang the mistletoe somewhere.
Go ahead.
Listen, it's been 2 weeks. We got to get it out.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
She make the naughty list.
Once you sit
For
on
one
Santa's
night.
lap so I can spank you, you naughty girl.
All right, we gonna wrap it up. You got any last ones that you want to get in? No.
No, I think he got it in. So
Okay.
okay.
Y'all, I have never, I feel nice because I've never had anybody be this excited about my sex life ever. It's like a cheering section.
My
I
cheeks
love
hurt.
when my girls happy and enjoy it.
Mhm.
I can't tell you for sure that it happened on Christmas, but I will tell you there was a time over this Christmas period that I will rank in the top 3 of all time.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Wow.
It might even be the best time I've ever had in my entire life. I was like, I don't know what's happening. New things are being unlocked. I don't know. I didn't even know my body could do that.
Did you
Oh
put
my
your
God.
leg behind your head, girl? What'd you do?
I can't get into all of it.
Oh.
But like it was an insane time. I was like, did you know I could do that? Like,
No. Listen, that's what the holidays.
That's the reason for the season.
That's what the holidays are all about, girl. Twisting your leg and your body in different ways.
listen, it turns out that when
Mhm.
you're well rested,
Yeah.
You actually want to do things.
you do want to do things. It was a time. And then I was like, we're gonna do it again. And so then it was like, but then I was like, I almost didn't want to do it the next day because I'm like, we need to just let that be. Like, let's just let that be for a minute. And so that time, that was like the pinnacle. Whew, I was like, we hold off for a second because obviously nothing is going to beat that.
Where you're like, we have reached the pinnacle for the week. We're good.
Good Lord. I'm just always so impressed. He's just always so impressive. So that was fantastic. Thank you for asking. It was top tier.
Good.
So that was great. But then what are we talking about? I lost my train of thought.
It was Christmas
She's
Day.
thinking about it.
Right.
It was
She's
Christmas.
like, oh.
Sorry. Well, I mean, yes. I mean, how can you not? So anyway, the day after so keep in mind, we had already seen Wicked in theaters twice. I saw it with the whole family, and then he wanted to see it again so much that we saw it on our own like a week later. And then our friend Heather hadn't seen it, and so she came over the day after Christmas, and we went and saw it again in the theater. And it's just so good. It was just so fantastic seeing it in the theater that many times. And then that same day, you know how I get when because like it takes a lot to get me out of the house lately, like in the last several years. I think the pandemic really solidified my like love of staying in the house. It takes a lot to get me out. It really does. Well, that same day we saw Wicked, some of my fiance's friends were like, oh, hey, you all should come out. We're going to this silent disco. And I was like, Miguel says that silent discos are fun.
I love silent discos.
But I was like, we've already done our one allotted thing of the day.
She said, that's it. No more.
We've done it.
No more tokens.
I know.
My power has drained to zero.
My spoons are done, right? But we all kind of were like, I'm like, I know that I'm gonna have a good time, but the thought of like putting on going out clothes or whatever. But we decided ultimately to go and just fucking do it, and it was a blast. Unfortunately, when we got there, they were all sold out of the headsets. I guess you can buy it in advance, and it's so popular that it was like sold out almost immediately, I guess. So we went and caught up with his friends, and they were very kind because they were there with a bigger group, and some of the people in the group would share their headphones with us. So we at least got to like see what it was like. And it is wild being at a big, like this was at a brewery. It's a big bar area, and being in a place like that and it being so silent, like you could, when you didn't have the headphones on, you could just have a normal conversation with someone and not be screaming at them. You know, it was so interesting, but it was a lot of fun. And it was just a really good time. And so that was fun. Did that. Silent disco. Check that off my list of things.
I love a silent disco.
I know. And then we were, of course, preparing before New Year's, we took a little vacation, well, I forgot that I can say that I live in Florida. This is not the show. So I live in the St. Pete, Tampa Bay area. So we took a little trip over to Orlando. And it was just my fiance and I, and it was just a long time coming, and it was very beautiful trip. However, we went so hard on the first night that we literally couldn't get up the next day.
Like, did Vodka Holly come out?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
We ain't seen Vodka Holly in a long time.
Not in a minute. We just were so excited to be back in Orlando. And you know what else we did? And I'm like cringing on the inside. And I know I shouldn't because it's fun and I was letting loose. We went to that bar. So in Orlando, you can go to Universal City Walk without going to actually one of the parks and paying $75,000 to get there. We went to that karaoke bar where there's a live band.
Yes. Is it? What is it called?
I think it's called Rising Star.
Yes. I've always wanted to go.
I have too, but I was like, how could you do it with a live band? I don't know if I'd be good enough at any song. Well, we get there, and I had already had a hurricane from Pat O'Brien's. And 2 margs from the Mexican place. So we get there, and I'm already like, well, maybe I'll do something.
Holly's bumping around. She's like, where the book? Let me see this book.
I did. You know what I did.
Can't stop believing.
Can't stop believing. Don't stop believing.
Don't stop believing. Can't stop, won't stop. We're just gonna keep believing.
We're always gonna be believing. And I have even said, maybe on this podcast, I was like, I need to retire that song. It's old, it's done. But if I'm gonna get up on stage with a live band backing 100%. Me, I can't trot out one that I'm not very comfortable with. I have to go with the gold star standard. So I gave myself the pass. Maybe that was going to be like the finale, like the grand finale.
Yeah,
if there's any place to retire a karaoke song that you've done for years, it's with a live band backing you on a big ass stage.
And like background singers.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, girl, absolutely. That's the time to do it.
It sounds so cool. How was it? Did you wait a long time?
No, I didn't, weirdly. I was like I was at the end of the first group, which was good because they do like, I don't know, maybe 10 people at a time. And then the band takes a break and they take a break. And then 15 minutes later, they come back and they do like another 10 people or whatever. And so we got there when they were first starting the night. Like it doesn't even start till 9. And so we got there pretty much like a little after 9. And then I was probably on the stage by 10:30, which again was good because then I proceeded to I would not have been, I was too drunk.
Oh.
But I had my fiance take a video, of course. I'm like, take a video. And I was just so embarrassing. I just feel like I was so cringe. I was just so embarrassing. I think I did a really good job.
Okay.
But also I just feel like I turned into that mode, where like where I was like, I'm gonna show everyone how it's done.
Oh. Yeah.
because I always wondered, I've never been to a place like that. How do they do it?
Right.
And the way that they do it is the band is very loud. So even if you're not a good singer, it doesn't really matter.
Covers it up, right?
And I was like, oh, that's very kind. And so the first people that were in front of me, like some people had their little microphone and they were acting like it was amateur hour at a regular ass karaoke bar. Meanwhile, there's this whole band behind them and lights, and they're just like, hey, I'm singing. And I'm like, oh, no.
Holly said, let me show you how a real professional gets on stage to do this.
And I did. I'm like over there, what I'm doing. I'm all this. I'm like singing at the background guy. I'm like, he must think I'm so good. I swore once, and you were not allowed to swear.
Oh.
And my fiance was like, he did absolutely looked at you and was about to like pull you off, but then you kept going and you were like not gonna swear anymore. And I'm like, oh my God.
Oh.
It's embarrassing. But I got done with that and it was so much fun. I felt I was on this high. And then what we did, because we were seated right down front for the rest of the night, I think we left at like 12:30. We just sat there and got drinks and cheered on everybody else. And depending on what song they did, I'm like standing up, I'm like dancing, I'm like at the stage, like I'm their biggest fan.
Yes.
It was so much fun. Now, waking up the next morning, not as fun. Haven't felt that in a minute. So that was not fun. We had all these plans for the next day that we were going to do stuff, did nothing.
But you know what? That was a release that you all needed.
I think it was.
You needed that
we're
release.
Also like, okay, now we know, don't do that.
Right.
Of course.
Right.
But it was fine because we just got room service and it was fantastic. So that was really fun. And then by the next day we were back to normal and fine. Had my annual like hibachi dinner on New Year's Eve, which actually got ruined because I thought I had made a reservation.
Oh.
And I didn't. So we had to scramble and then find some other Asian place because I have to have Asian food on New Year's Eve. And oh yeah, and then my birthday was just kind of low key at home. My friend Heather came over. I made this mushroom brie thing that's really good. And then the next few days were kind of a blur with because Maya had come home by that point. I got Maya back on New Year's Eve. So we celebrated with her. She tried to stay up to, didn't make it to midnight, but that's fine. And then it was like some family stuff. She had a sleepover. She went to a sleepover. So it was just stuff. And like you said, Miguel, to your point, like we did a lot of stuff that we needed to do at home. Like just random cleaning stuff. I got a vacuum for Christmas. And a lot of people would be like, don't get me a fucking vacuum.
I'm pretty sure that's on our list of things to never get a woman for Christmas.
Right.
But this was a Dyson.
Oh.
So
y'all got those rich people vacuums.
Yes, apparently he found it on some kind of Black Friday super sale. And at first I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't like it because it doesn't have a light on the bottom like my cheap one does.
Need it.
So I can't see the dust as I'm sucking it up. And I was like, oh,
Save that.
Save it.
We don't normally save stuff from the podcast, but let me just write a little note. Thank you.
And
okay,
so but upon emptying it out, I was like, oh damn, that other vacuum did missing some stuff.
That Dyson know how to suck it real good.
Yes. So I was vacuuming. We got we organized some kitchen stuff and it was a really, really good, relaxing, restful, watched a lot of shows. We started Squid Game 2. We got all caught up with Dune Prophecy, which I really love. And we watched some other shows and movies and stuff. It was just really good. It was good. So.
Kelvin, how was your break?
So I knew that I was going to be forgetting everything that I did. So I made a little notes app on my phone.
Oh, good for you.
To give you some highlights. So the first couple of days of break was fantastic. There was like an event day after day after day for maybe the next 4. And then afterwards I got super sick. So probably get more into that later. But that first Friday, some friends, some mutual friends of Miguel and I, they had a Christmas party. And we talked about this earlier on the show about how I misread the invitation because I thought it was an ugly Christmas sweater party. Now, on the show, for time purposes, obviously I was like, oh yeah, I came in and then I saw everybody was not dressed up. I really didn't notice. Like, I walked in, there was a bunch of gays everywhere. And it wasn't until we were maybe by the fire pit where I was like, oh, wow, we're the only ones dressed up. And we went to Spencer's. Like, I spent a good chunk of change on an ugly Christmas sweater because I thought I need to have one. Like, I work in radio. We do so many videos. And I've had an ugly Christmas sweater, but I got a little bit bigger, so I needed a new one. So I was like, let me invest on a good one that I will wear.
Right.
Okay.
So I bought one, and literally it's me, my fiance Oscar, our best friend Shay, and our other best friend Eric. And we are all in these get-ups, and all these other gays are in their flannels, their vests, their puffer jackets. And we look like dumbasses in the corner.
And it's so funny you say that because that was that Friday night, right? Of where we didn't work that Friday, and that party was that Friday.
Yeah.
So we were invited, but Abe and I were at the cabin with my college friends. And so that Saturday morning, I woke up and I was up early. And so I was just looking through Instagram stories, and I saw some other mutual gay friends are at this party. And I'm like, oh, everyone is dressed like how you would think. I would assume they were dressed. And from when I read the invitation, even though I knew we weren't going, I was like, oh, everyone's ready for a Friday night. Because you go to this party, and then usually people end up at either Chasers here or Scorpio.
Right.
And then I get to Kelvin's Instagram story, and I'm like, why are they all in ugly sweaters? Nobody. I was like, and my first thought was, well, maybe Kelvin and his friends and Oscar were going to several different Christmas parties, and that was like the first stop, and then they were going to another one. No. Okay.
Listen, out of all the things, I don't think that's the worst thing you could have done.
Yeah.
Because my mom always used to say you can never be too gaudy at Christmas. Now, I do think there are some limits on that. However, I appreciate the spirit.
Yeah.
In which it's a festive holiday.
And there was someone who was dressed up as was it Cindy Lou?
Cindy Lou and the Grinch.
So
the host of the party.
So if they're dressed up, I don't think you were like gauche with your holiday sweaters.
Yeah, and it wasn't like we showed them up. It wasn't like we had these extravagant they were just ugly Christmas sweaters. So they thought it was super funny. It was really cool. Yeah. We made a brand new, so I had 2 interactions there, right? We made which one do I start with? Well, let's go with the Renee Rap girl. So this girl is super belligerent, and she is just talking over this fire pit that we were just trying to get warm by. And I'm staring at her and I'm like, oh my God, she looks like an exact replica of Renee Rapp with full good intention, full well-intentioned. I was like, oh my God, how many times do you get told you look like Renee Rapp? And she was like, I fucking hate when people say that. Oh. And there was this drop in my stomach. And of course, I tried to just remedy it immediately. And I was like, no, it's a compliment. I mean, she's stunning. She is super talented. Like, she's everywhere now. Mean Girls. And she was like, people say that all the time. And I don't see it and I don't like it. And then she started going off on a tangent. And her friend came by and her friend was like, oh my God, yes, I always tell her all the time she hates it. And I was like, ooh. And then there were some people there that were like, who's Renee Rapp? Like, it was just this weird.
I do need it. I know who she is, but I need to Google to get a good picture.
It was just awkward. And like,
oh, she's so pretty.
I'm here trying to make new friends, like just try to talk to new people. And
that's not a friend. That's not a friend. We don't need to be friends with people that are just going to be
correct. And then it was just uncomfortable. And at that point, then my friends are petty as fuck and they start texting in our group chat being like, yo, this girl's fucking annoying.
Oh, no.
She was getting annoying. She really was because, like I said, she was belligerent. So at that point, I started to step away a little bit. Mm-hmm. And there was a guy sitting there in the corner by himself. He kind of looks like he's like a short Tom Welling looking feller. Smallville. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I remember
And-
Smallville.
Oh, okay. I do
Yes,
remember.
He
I
was
do, I
super
do.
cute. And so we just started talking with him, and he was like, yeah, I'm here by myself. I don't really talk to anybody. These parties kind of get me really nervous. And so me and my friends just started talking to him because, to be quite honest, nobody else was really trying to talk to us because everybody was already friends with each other.
Right.
So that's okay. That's fine. He started talking to us, and then we started to learn about this whole there's a brand new app. I have to get the name of it. I mean, I don't really care for it, but there's this kink app, and apparently people in Charlotte use it, or maybe other people in other states, but he told us specifically that it's a kink app, and he showed us his profile. We saw his photos, and we were just like, we didn't see anything X-rated. Maybe we saw his butt, but that was it. And I was like, oh my God. And it was very much, here's my phone, check it out. And I was like,
I'm
okay.
sorry. What? This
Gays.
is a new
This is
Gays.
gays. Yeah, it's
Well-
this isn't at a country club PTA. This is a gay party.
This isn't even me at the place in Orlando with the karaoke.
Yeah, no.
Ain't
This is a
nobody-
gay.
And I made
like,
some friends that
Yeah.
night. I did make some friends, but
But-
nobody is showing me an app.
No.
Funny enough, though, he says that he's been into the kink community and been into kink stuff for a long time when he was straight and with his wife. But because of therapy, he kind of realized that he wanted to explore more aspects of his sexuality. And so it actually came from his straighter days, I guess.
Oh.
Well,
and so-
obviously, if he honestly was not straight, he's probably looking for many outlets.
yeah,
Could not be straight.
yeah, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure. But
Interesting.
anyways, he was
Interesting,
doing
interesting.
that stuff before. And so now he's like,
Now there's
a
an app.
baby gay. Now there's an app. And so he was just really, it was very matter of fact. It wasn't anything like, ooh, we were getting turned on by this. It was just very like, yeah, I'm into this and I'm
Mm.
exploring it. And it's really cool and really grateful that I'm here in this part of my life. And
Kelvin Shannon said, "What's the app? We need the tea."
I'll find it. I'll look for it. So then that happened. He's such a baby gay that he's like, I've never seen a drag queen. I've never seen one perform. I was like, Drag Race. It's starting in January. You can come over. We can watch it.
Aw.
Yeah. So we showed him a little bit of that weeks later, right? That was December 20th. And then weeks later, this past weekend, we showed him the premiere of Drag Race. And
Oh, so he came over
He
and
did.
oh, fun.
He
So y'all
did.
made a new friend. I love
He
that.
did. So that was really cool. Then what did I do after? Told the girl I looked like Renee Rapp. Saturday, I worked. I went to the station. I worked for like 3 hours just to get everything done into the system. And then Oscar's sister and brother-in-law were driving. They always drive from New York down to Georgia for the holidays. And they randomly stayed with us. Not randomly. They were really tired. And I was like, come by, like chill, have dinner here and then continue your road trip. And then out of nowhere, they were like, do you guys mind if we stay? And I was like, shh. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Mhm.
There's space, girl.
Yeah.
We didn't prepare for it. I took an adult gummy, and there are 3 children everywhere running around, being loud. Jimbo's being crazy. The cat was fine. And I did not realize that. I mean, it's
Wait
not
a
like
minute. They just asked to stop by with 3 kids?
they had,
Well, you know the kids.
well, yeah. I know the kids. Yeah.
And it's okay. Well, it's different. When
And we
it's
were
people
open
you know.
arms. Obviously, we were open arms, but we didn't expect it. Like we
Right.
would have had
Getting the room.
the room
Right.
situation,
Laundry,
all of it,
towels.
everything ready for them. But it was totally fine. It was actually kind of quite nice. We were in the middle of watching Drag Race Australia,
Mm.
and it was paused on our TV because we were obviously emergency cleaning as they were coming. And the girls were like, "What is that?" And I was like, "I'm gonna give you 10 seconds of it, and that's it." And it was like in the middle of a dance. So
Is it kid appropriate or not?
no, I don't
Yeah.
think so. I think you have to be like
I
so
think it's older.
his
right?
little niece is like was 10 maybe when no, not even. She was like 8 or 9. We watched one episode with her and she absolutely loved it and adored it and she didn't feel like it was anything inappropriate. But the lip sync that they were doing, it was like where they had to write their own lyrics and there were some bad words in there. And this was a different niece. This was the niece from New York. The one from South Florida, she's super cool and she doesn't care. But the one from the oldest one from New York that I let her watch like 10 seconds of it, she was like, I saw 4 bad words there. And I was like, all right, girl,
You're
never
like,
mind.
turn it off.
You ain't part of the cool club. It's fine.
Yeah. Well,
She's, yeah.
I appreciate the honesty.
I
Mhm.
do, yeah, and you know she's one of those. She's bookworm, very smart, sweet. So I was like, okay, whatever. They saw it for a little bit. The smaller ones loved it, and I was like,
Mm.
no more.
Yeah.
So that happened. That was cool. Then we made our way to Georgia. We spent Christmas with the family. I made a smaller version of the mac and cheese because every time I make it, there's a crap ton left over, and I always feel a little offended by that.
Oh.
But I realized I just need to make a smaller tin of it. And
Well,
then it
sometimes
was
there's only so much carved cheese that people can eat.
correct.
Yeah, it's
Without
just very
feeling
heavy.
Bound up.
Yes. So we did that. My mother-in-law gave me a Christmas ornament that said, Happy Xmas, my special son.
Oh,
Oh.
And I know she meant it as like,
She meant it like,
yeah.
I know
But
how
you
to
know how
special.
I read it.
you're like,
I'm
oh,
special. Should I get diagnosed? But it was very sweet, very kind. I saw it and I was like, thank you.
Yeah, no, you know how she meant it, but you know how you
I
took
know,
it.
I
and
meant
I
it.
know,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that was very sweet. That was fun. Can't remember really anything that happened. The freaking kids were sick. One of them was sick. I think two of them were actually. And I was like, you can't get sick by a little baby. Sick.
Oh,
That's why
Sick.
that's why parents are always freaking sick because these schools
Uh-huh.
are breeding grounds and then the kids come home and you're like, thanks.
they
Yes.
get you.
When we came back from Georgia, the first 2 days, like vegetated, it was super nice, really calm. We didn't do anything. And then it wasn't by the third day where I started getting sick. And then by this point, it's like Monday. So I was like, Miguel, I don't think I'm going to your party. Like, I am not feeling good. And then I did kind of what I did like a year ago for St. Pete Pride, where I was like, Miguel, I'm stuck, but I'm still coming. And I was being upheld by tons of meds. So I did my Afrin, I did some Sudafed, and I went on over to Miguel's. I didn't drink, and I just kept it very calm for New Year's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you did. I mean, because I think at like 12:02, y'all were like, all right, bye.
Bye.
I mean, it
Yeah.
was like we were like, Happy New Year, like calling our parents are calling, and we're like, oh, I'm looking over my shoulder, and you just see the chair spinning because Kelvin and his fiance and friends, they were like,
Out.
bye.
I clock in, I do my job,
Job.
and I go home.
At 12:02, they said, bye, Happy
Mhm.
New Year, we out.
I can tell I'm getting older too, PS, because my birthday is New Year's. And Calvin, thank you for texting me on New Year's Eve after midnight.
Mhm.
You, I think, were one of two people. And I used to get a
Yay.
deluge of texts on like after midnight texts from all these friends all over. Now those texts come the next day.
Yeah.
I'm like, I guess I was getting older. It's fine. It's fine. It's just an interesting way to pass time anyway,
Mhm.
Yes.
as time passes.
Going back to the Georgia stay, we were going through family photos, and I saw so many cute photos of like Oscar when he was like a baby, and he was just so cute. But then
Oh,
Oh,
cute.
look at that.
But then I saw photos of his dad back in the day, and oh my Lanta, and he's gonna be so mad that I'm talking about this. But I was like, hey Luigi, like you look good.
Oh
We're
my
not doing that with
goodness.
fathers-in-law.
Hey Luigi.
Oh.
How you doing?
There's a topic there when you think your parents or your spouses,
Oh no!
parents
Look at you. No.
look attractive, and you're like,
He was getting so mad that I was taking these photos. I was like,
oh,
yo, your
come
dad,
on, Stunno.
like,
Woo.
yeah. So that
Oh.
happened. What else? That was pretty much it. I saw like 8 movies. I saw Challengers,
Mm,
very hot.
so good.
I thought there should have been more gay sex, but there was not enough.
Mm.
I saw Babe. I don't know why Oscar put that.
Wait, like
Like the pig.
The pig. It was that.
Oh.
It
Let
had
me
an
tell
adult
you,
gummy in it.
I love Babe. Back when I was growing up, girl, whenever Babe would come on, I'd be like, yes. I love
So
that
cute.
movie.
The kids that I babysat for, they were on it with that movie. So I've seen the beginning of that movie probably a million times, and the
Mm.
end of it maybe twice because that's how kids work.
Yeah.
So,
I
yes.
love Babe back in the day.
Mhm.
I saw
Aw.
Beetlejuice.
Mm.
Mhm.
I
Thoughts?
saw. It was good. It was good. I haven't seen the first one in a really long time. I can't really remember it, but I thought
Gotcha.
it was an entertaining movie, and I
Yeah, it
enjoyed
was
it.
for sure interesting, entertaining. I liked it. I think that scene at the end went on for way too long because they were trying to recreate, Deo. But other than that, it was good.
Mm.
Yes. I saw Wicked again.
Mm.
Holly, so I saw like a movie that I feel like you would like, and then I saw a movie that I think Miguel would like. So, have you heard of the Judy Blume book? Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret.
Yeah, I think I read it back.
You
in the
read
day.
it? I feel like you would have. The movie is so sweet. It's very much a
Oh.
coming of age movie. I feel like you would watch it with Maya. There's
I
that final.
forgot that it came out.
Yeah, it came out last year. We were looking
last
up.
year.
Yeah, we were looking up best of movies of 2024, and then when we went through that list, we were like, all right, we don't want to watch any of these. Let's do 2023. And then I saw that movie and I was like, that is a movie for like Holly and Maya. It's very much coming of age. It's so sweet. The final ending scene, if you've read the book, you know, it's about, you know, she's becoming a woman. And there's that scene, that last final scene with Rachel McAdams and the daughter. And like, I cried. And that is an experience I will never go through ever, or understand it or fathom any of it. But it made me so sad because I was like, man, I hope, and I know she didn't, but I know my sisters never had a moment like that when they became a woman. And it was just so beautiful. It really was such a touching scene. I was like in tears.
I have to watch it.
Yes, you do. And then Thelma was another movie that I saw that I thought was so funny. Very low key. Didn't hear anything about it. It was this grandmother. It's 92-year-old grandmother, iconic actress. I can't remember her name.
I saw it too.
Yes.
I loved it.
It was so cute.
It was adorable.
It was
and
so
also there were parts of it because my mom, you know, had gone through all this stuff with dementia and everything. And there were a couple parts towards the end where even my fiance looked at me and was like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah, when they visited their friend. Yeah.
And it was just like
they stole her gun.
What they did, yes. But there was something else that she said. She's like, "I got a brain tumor," and we were like, "What?" Because my mom did, and so anyway, there was just, it was really, and I think I talked about it on the air, but like I can't really recommend it to anybody because like I don't know who's the target audience, but it is adorable.
It was adorable. It's very calm because I was like, Miguel likes good movies, but I was like, would Miguel
I don't
care
know
about
if you'd
this?
like this one. It's cozy.
It's cozy. It's calm.
Cute.
Yeah. And it's
so
funny. This woman
like,
gets gypped.
Yes, it's
scammed.
this old lady, and she's like 90 something, right? You said 92, and she gets scammed out of money, and then goes on this like wild goose chase to try to get it back.
Yes,
and
I'm
of course her
good.
daughter is like Parker Posey, and they're like, "Mom, like stop, you can't," and like the grandson, and it's just a family feel good, cute movie.
It's cute.
Well, I told Abe that in January, I'm going to sprinkle in my dark, macabre type movies in order for like action or just like drama, because I feel like I fed him a lot of horror but this fall, and so I was like, all right. So even over the past like 4 or 5 days we've been at home, we watched so many movies. I have picked lighter fare things. I mean, there was a lot of action, but it's been lighter fare, and I just have skipped over the horror movies. I'm like, don't worry, they're coming back in February.
Oh,
okay.
Well, Thelma.
But yeah, I put that on the list. I like that.
It's cute and cozy.
I watched The Creator. I think that's on Amazon. I can't remember, but I watched it like 2 days ago or last night. Basically, AI takes over.
I like that.
Was it good?
It was okay.
I didn't want to watch it because I felt like it didn't look like it was going to be that good.
It was okay. There just wasn't substance. Like even at the final ending, it could have been a beautiful monologue moment. Damn, the music rap.
Sorry, girl. We got to get to this meeting.
Look at the
Sorry,
time.
Squid Games 2 sucked, by the way.
I'm in the middle of it.
It sucked. It doesn't get good to the final 2 episodes.
No, see, well, Holly, what episode are you on? Or like, what's happening right now?
They just did the first game.
If you're enjoying it, great, but it didn't get interesting until the final 2 episodes.
To me, once he gets back into the game, I liked it. But the whole like build up, I was kind of like,
I kept poking so many holes in the plot. I was like, but why would that guy, and why would they even have that guy in it? Like, this guy's annoying. I was like, get out of here with this. But we just watched the episode where they went to the first game. I think that's where we stopped. We may have only seen 3 episodes, which why did it take 3 episodes to get back in there?
Yeah, I was like, girl. But I think they did do a good job of, without giving you any spoilers, of going back into the formula that made us like it, but also changing it up at the same time. Yeah. So,
and also at the first part, I was like, who the fuck are these people?
All right, well, we gotta go. Sorry. We gotta get to this meeting at 11.
I know.
All right, we'll be back on Wednesday. Love you guys. Bye.
Miguel and Holly Uncensored.
Catch it on the iHeart